Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad to hear this morning. Got a big show lined up. Weather brought to us by Hayden Technical Center. I'm going to start the show off today a little differently. We're going to start off on a sad note. We want to inform you that our dear close friend, Mr. Mike Brudnicki, Greg Brudnicki's dad, has passed away early Sunday morning. He'd been put in a hospital with a urinary tract infection about a week earlier, and he just didn't quite make it. 92 years old, and what you saw him on TV, we've had him on several videos and talked to him some, and I love fishing with that man. And Greg Brudnicki was so good about fishing with his dad up until almost the last time. He would always just go take his dad fishing, and it was just heartwarming for me to see that. And Bill Allen would, the four of us would go sometimes. It's just wonderful fishing and just being around Mr. Brudnicki, World War II, a true hero from World War II. And we'll talk more about that later, but we just want to extend our condolences to the Brudnicki, to Greg, and the Brudnicki family this morning. So let's move on with our weather. High today is going to be 86 and low 73, and the water temperature 86.5, so creep back up a little bit. The river readings, Apalachicola to Bluntstown, 4.6, and about flat line right there, not much movement going on. And the Choctawhatchee at Caryville is a 5.9. It's dropping out. Like we said over the weekend, it's going to get on up there with that rain, right at 6 foot and dropping out at Caryville. The tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn, and I do understand the visitation is tonight for Mr. Brudnicki, and the funeral service is tomorrow. Now, today is September the 11th, and we never forget about September 11th in American history. Okay, today we're going to have neap tides. Look at the tide chart. Tuesday and Wednesday, neap tides, but it's going to pick back up. Usually, it was odd. I was looking at this last night. It was odd. Those neap tides usually last 3 or 4 or 5 days. Now they're going to last 2 days this month, then pick back up for the weekend. So that's good news. And our marine forecast becoming south-southwest at 8. And let's go and take a minute and talk about the tropical systems and all. Of course, one's about to hit the Atlantic coast. The one that concerns me is Isaac, the one on the low end. I always study these things as they're coming off the coast of Africa. I just look at them, and after a day or two, you can get a good feeling, a bad feeling. I just don't have a good feeling about this one called Isaac, and for some reason it's sort of sneaking in. It's what I call a low rider, way down the bottom of the screen, and it keeps on going straight across. Well, that means chances are it's going to come on, hit toward the Gulf. I've studied these things for years and all, and usually when I take that track, and you start to see spaghetti strands going, once they'll start going up in this area. So anyway, keep your eye on Isaac. Of course, it'll be sometime next week and all, but I just don't have a good feeling about this one. The others, that hadn't bothered me any. We already had the I's now. But remember, we didn't have trouble with Opal until we got into O. So that was the first week of October. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. As always, glad you're with us. We'll start off with some pictures before we show this first one, though. I always appreciate y'all sending in pictures, and we show all kind of pictures. And this one's real special to me. And I'll tell you why it's special. Check it out. The first picture of the morning. Check out this guy. Folks, Gail and I went Saturday morning. On a Saturday morning, usually I don't like to go on Saturday, but we went up Lynn boat ramp and just went out into went down the bay system, and we didn't, caught some trout and everything earlier, and about 9:30, 9:45, ran into, we found a school of redfish, and that's just a beautiful redfish. I was planning on keeping one for supper, but that's just a little too big right there. They don't taste quite as good. That measured right at 26 inches. That would have been a good tournament fish for a local tournament, but that was a lot of fun. And guess what I caught him on? You're gonna say gold spoon, and I'm gonna say wrong, because I had lost my gold spoon, and I decided to put on a bronze spoon. So that's why I caught him on a bronze spoon. And Gail, bless her heart, and she's usually an excellent fisherman, she lost a couple on a topwater plug. We got to actually see them actually attacking a plug, and it just as they turned right before they hit it, it didn't quite get hooked, but it was fun school. We didn't stay in there long. Gail was getting hot and all, so we came on back. We usually fish about 10 o'clock in the hot weather. All right, let's share this with you. This is Look at this dog. Isn't that a pretty dog right there? Okay. Brian Revere sent this. I don't think Brian reminded me talking about this because here's his family. Dr. Anderson gave him a buzz. His dog, a dog named Reagan, was bit by a moccasin. Okay. And the moccasin was about 12 to 14 inches long, but hit him right in the cheek. And right now, the antivenom bill is $1,650, but we think Reagan's going to make it. That's a pretty dog right there. So, you know, that's why I say if you can, you got some snakes around the house, but sometimes you can't help it. And we pull him for Reagan to make it right there. Check out Kobe Young sending this in the Florida Panhandle Hunters. I thought this was funny. One more catch before bow season. Do my best to forget about the Florida's college football team. Somebody heat the grease. That's a nice mess of catfish right there. That's some really good eating. Hey, look how fresh they are coming out of the water. Good fishing right there. Kobe Young. Our friend Kenny Livingston over at Crooked Island Sound. Kenny, that is a nice trout. And obviously they opened Crooked Island Sound back up. You see how pretty it is over there. Good job, Kenny Livingston. And then our buddy Steve Barnett out here in New Mexico on a mule deer. Okay, here's a better picture of it right here. Bow hunting in New Mexico. That is beautiful out there. A lot of guys I know that love to hunt in New Mexico. George Stewart and some other guys are doing it. Doug Pennington, but a good job, Steve Barnett. Good buck right there. This is that big bass I showed last week. Here's a better picture of it. Steve Rogers, that monster 15 pounds, 15 ounces. I want to talk about that a second. That bass right there, right at 16 pounds, that's within a pound of the Florida state record. Now, I can't get over that. That's phenomenal. And because, you know, all the big bass in Florida always been, you know, talked about Lake Okeechobee and the central part of the state, the Winter Haven area and all those lakes there, because those lakes are warmer more year round. And when you catch something like that here in northern Florida, that's got to be the northern Florida record. I know that'll break it down by geographic, but it's caught up here in Porta Pond, and he didn't release that. But you know what? In a situation like that, that's a trophy. You don't have to release 100%. And I agree with, if I'd caught something that big, I think I would have had it mounted too. That's a once in a lifetime. And as they get older, they have less and less fertility in them. So good job on that, and congratulations on that big bass, and proud to catch a bass like that up in northern Florida. Sit right at 16 pounds. That's a FWC certified. Okay, here's a little shot of me speaking to the Lions Club last week down at the Yacht Club. That's a cool place down there. I've been there a lot. That's a really cool place. A lot of history in the Yacht Club down there. It's almost fall in Florida. Know what that means? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's still 90 degrees outside. Is that not true? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and take our break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I want to talk a second about, speaking of Lions Club, one of the things I stress with them, and I just want to go over it with you, make sure you understand our goals and purpose of why we have a Panhandle Outdoors television show. And it's real simple to me. I guess I've always been goal-oriented and just being a coach and a teacher and all. And our goals for Panhandle Outdoors, that's my little title page. I was telling Jeff, that's pretty professionally done, isn't it? That's that little doodle pad I had last night. So here's our goals, 3 things: to inform, entertain, and encourage. Okay, so that's take number 1. To inform you, of course, is just to tell you all the news that's going on, the seasons, and just keep you informed, and the limits and the sizes, and you know as well as I do, especially in the saltwater situation, how it changes and all. And then, of course, during hunting season, we have this poster here to keep you posted up on what's going on outdoors. But also, just try to research information when I run across things. I like to spread that with you. People come in as guests and all and tell you things and talking about informing you. We'd have the very best fishermen and outdoorsmen here in Florida Panhandle come on the show. I mean, you look on Redfish, you look at Fred Myers. Anybody that has won 11 boats in tournaments, 11 $40,000 plus $40,000 plus boats, that's pretty strong. Fred Myers is amazing. Drew Benton on bass fishing, and he's just steady up there at the top, and he won a major tournament. I go on and on. Our hunters, we get Ronnie Groom to come in here, and he what a fine hunter he is, and what a fine outdoorsman. We get Captain Roy come in talking about speckled trout, caught more speckled trout than anybody. I can say that unequivocally, on and on. So we try to get all these experts in here to inform you on how to do things, and we try to get some video for you on just a lot of different things. I know the video is not professionally produced, but it's the best we can do, and it's just like real people doing real things, like we say. So we just try to keep you informed on what's going on. That's one of our main goals. And the entertainment, we'll go back to the videos and just the different things we do, and of course getting things out there. We'll be going to that SEOPA conference, the Southeastern Outdoor Press Association, coming up pretty soon, and get a lot of information there, spreading to you, and just entertaining on all the different things you can do in the Panhandle Outdoors. So that's one of our focus. And the third one, encourage you to get outdoors and enjoy the great outdoors, and especially we try to encourage young people. You know how strong I feel about that, and a lot of y'all acknowledge that. I get feedback from y'all. Mike McGraw sent me some really nice words last week, how we try to encourage young people. I want all of us to do that, to encourage young people to get out there, and we try to encourage you to do all kinds of different things, not just hunting and fishing. It's just getting in the outdoors, hiking, scalloping, crabbing, so many different things you can do. And we just want to encourage you, and we want to be positive with all of our presentations, and just try to keep everything above board as far as just pushing people to do some really good things in our community and helping each other out. How many fundraisers do we promote on here with people all doing good things? We got so many churches and all trying to do things. We got Elizabeth Bodorf tournament coming up. Sea quarters and so many things. All of these are good causes. When you donate $1 million to leukemia research from a fishing tournament, that's amazing. And so over and over, these things here are just encouraging people to do things. So that's what we're talking about when we do that. Okay. So I just wanted to get that out at you on all. And now that is going to lead me into our next segment. I don't have any pictures on this. I went up to the woods the other day. I was looking for a rattlesnake. I've been up there a couple times before, and like I said, when you're looking for them, you can't find them, and when you don't look for them, they're all over the place. And Jeff and I we're going to start redoing the beginning of our show, a little segment. I want to have we're talking about 2 or 3 seconds of this and that at the beginning of the show, and it's fun sort of working on it. But one thing I want to put on this one, I want to have a rattlesnake, maybe striking or coiling up and all. I just think that's cool. One of the coolest things in nature is seeing a rattlesnake. Of course, you want to be away from it, but seeing a rattlesnake do that, that's fascinating, and it's all natural. And I was trying to, so I didn't have any luck. I was going to try to provoke one, but I've been trying to find what the striking distance is between when he launches himself and how far he can go in the air, before he starts losing momentum and can't reach you. Does that make sense? So, because I don't know how far to stay away. And I started doing some research. I just busted out laughing last night when Gail was back at the table. I said, honey, listen to this. 72% of the rattlesnake victims, okay, I'm going to talk more about rattlesnake. 72% of the people that are bit by rattlesnakes fall in this category. There are 3 things. They're male, they're young, and they're intoxicated. Does that make sense to the phrase, here, hold my beer, watch this? Is that not true? That research shows that 72% of people who got bit by a rattlesnake were in that category. A young male has been out drinking, acting a fool. So anyway, but other things too. Of course, their main diet is eating mice and little birds, that kind of stuff. And I tried. I shot some video, and I looked for like a big gopher hole, and I found a couple of them. They were not. You want a gopher hole that's been used, been so bit back and forth. But with this one, a lot of rain. But I found one, and I didn't have anybody with me to stick their hand in there to see if anything was in there, and I wasn't about to do it. So I did find one gopher hole. So I feel like one is in there, the same area where I've seen some big ones before. And the venom. I was reading about the venom. We all know how strong it is. And the venom, the amount of venom the rattlesnake puts in you is predicated by how angry he is, okay? If you step on one, he's going to be angry, and he's going to react very strong, and you're going to get a large dose of venom as compared to if you just sort of walk by and he just sort of swings out at you and hits you. You won't get near as much venom. But if they're angry and in a defense mode, and the fangs can get into you, you're going to get a lot of venom. Now the critical factor is 2 hours. If you can get treatment within 2 hours, you've got a 99% chance of surviving that rattlesnake bite. And of course I was thinking, if you're by yourself, that could be tough. Even in my situation here, in my property up there, it takes me some time to get back into the woods. If I were to get bit, it would take me 30 to 40 minutes to get back to the truck, and then I'm way up there. I may or may not get treatment within 2 hours. And so you need to think about, a lot of times there's some big snakes at a state park over here. You get bit, you're gonna get treatment just like that. So you're gonna be okay. But if you're out in the woods and hunting, especially around, walking to your tree stand, way back in the woods and all, you get in serious trouble. And death was going to occur within a period of time of a minimum of 6 hours to 48 hours. That's when death would occur on a rattlesnake bite. So I just ran across some of these intriguing figures, but that one, about 72% of the victims are young male that's intoxicated. Isn't that amazing? I'll tell you something. Let's take our break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us. So let's look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 2:04 to 4:04 this morning, and this evening from 2:29 to 4:29. I will show you, speaking of fishing times, when I caught that nice red, we were right on the beginning of fishing time. And the tide, I'm going to show you a picture of what the tide was doing. My purpose that morning, reason I went on Saturday morning, was because the tides were in really good situation. So we're right at the fishing times when we found that school of redfish that started moving around. We had a lot of pictures of Mike Edwards sent just a group of pictures of some big bucks he had taken on the property, a big mess of fish he had caught and all. And Mike Edwards is is a consummate outdoorsman, like, at that top level, along with so many of you folks here in the Panhandle. But what Mike also does, he makes his own he makes fishing lures. And he gave me a gift of a good while back of some fishing lures he had made. He wanted me to fish with them. I said, well, Mike, these are too pretty to fish with. But I'm going to show them to you. This is in my collection. I'm not going to fish with these, they're too pretty. But he hand makes these, he actually gets the wood, and he's a carpenter. I mean, he's a builder also, so he knows a lot about building. But he puts the props on them and gets the hooks, and it reminds me of the old devil horse and all, but isn't that a beautiful lure right there? I got 3 of them, and okay, I got that one, and then there's also this color here, puts on a diving lip. Let's see the diving lip he adds to them and all, and of course you spin a blade, and I just love these lures. And look at that color. See, how color would be really good in that tannic water. There's orange on it, hand painted. Now he wants me to fish with those. I'm not going to fish with those. They're too pretty. Look at that. Here's the third one. Okay, and that old color, that old black, dark color at the top, and white, like a frog frog color, and then you get the red around the lips, and you got the diving lip on it. It's really an excellent situation there. So that's really cool. So anyway, that's Mike Edwards' lures and all that he has that he's given to me. I don't know if he still makes them or not, but I keep them in a plastic bag, and I got his name on them. I think what I'm going to do is put him in a box, a collection, just put his name on it. And really, what would be smart, I need to get him to autograph something on them too. Anytime you get something signed, that makes it more valuable. Okay. I do want to mention we do have someone told me yesterday, yesterday, that they'd caught a big pompano out in the bay. I got a kick on it because he said it's like a single pompano, and he said it was a big one. And he said, Coach, I caught him on a topwater. I said, that's so ironic because it sort of parallels what was done with the world record pompano caught here in St. Joe Bay. It was caught on a topwater plug. It was a loner, pretty obvious, and of course it was huge. It was 8 pounds and 4 ounces. But those big ones, this time of year, will get up in a bay system, and they will travel alone. A lot of times they're what we call loners. You're not going to see a big old school of pompano with 6 and 8 pounders in them, I can promise you. But what are you going to see? You're going to see big schools, but they will have the little 3 and 4 pounders in them. But once I don't know what the research shows, but once they get out by themselves, they start, they grow a lot, and then they'll sort of go in odd places like, that was in St. Joe Bay over by Black's Island. This is over here behind Shell Island. So I thought, what a parallel as we're approaching this time of year, late September and in October. topwater fishing. He caught them in the afternoon. This other one was caught right around the middle of the day. It just goes against what's been said about fishing and all. Okay, let's move on. Speaking of seasons, I know everybody's getting ready for dove season, and it's coming up now, September 22nd. That's not this weekend, but next weekend, dove season is going to be here in our zone. The best thing to do, if you get an opportunity now, we're going from fishing to hunting, do some skeet shooting. Practice up if you can. I know so many of us just go out there, haven't shot the gun since last year, and go out there on first Saturday and miss about your first 7 or 8 shots, and then you sort of maybe get in a groove later. But you don't need to miss those first 6 or 7 shots if you practice a little bit. So I would encourage you to do some skeet shooting, or just get practice swinging, and just try to get back in a routine. It's like going out and trying to play a football game and not doing it in practice and going out there running your first play. It's not going to work too good. Later on, it may work better after you've done it some. So I'd encourage you to do some practice, and also with archery. I know archers, these bow hunters, are probably the best of anybody as far as practicing ahead of time before their season opens. So if you're going out, mule deer hunting in New Mexico and all, I promise you, these bow hunters have been practicing. So we all outdoorsmen take heed of that. Practice what we're going to be doing if it's going to be some kind of physical attribute. Even on your fly fishing and all, if you hadn't done it in a while, make sure you practice doing that. So anyway, we mentioned mullet yesterday. One thing I left out on catching mullet, I didn't bring up catching them with a cane pole. There's a certain segment of folks that catch mullet here in the Panhandle on a cane pole. Over there on Choctahatchee River, a big group of them that do that, and they'll bait them up legally with dog food and different things. It's something that sinks and all. And we're going to talk more about that. And we're going to try to do it every year. I have plans of doing it in my house off my dock, but some reason I don't get around to it. So this year I'm going to try to get around to it and maybe get something baited up and catch some mullet for y'all. Okay? I'm going to start wrapping things up. Tomorrow I got a big show. I'll have some video tomorrow, so on our fishing trip. So you have a great day today. Do something good for your fellow man. As always, we say enjoy the outdoors, and also encourage other people to enjoy the outdoors. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.